I got the horse right here.
Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, along with Drew Forster. We're going to go through the final day of racing at Hastings, final 2 days final weekend of racing at Hastings Racecourse. Of course, we have 9 races on Saturday, 9 on the Sunday program, both days starting at the big 150, 150 first post. The entry box is full. You'll see lots of fillies running against the boys, lots of maidens with winners. It's just that time of year where you see horses just entering to get one more start before they head to the farm.
Run now or that's it.
Yep.
Forever hold your peace.
Yep.
So, some good fields, some interesting races. Some I had a little bit of trouble
I had
with.
a lot of trouble with races.
Definitely a lot of ways to look at these. First one we're going to look at, we'll jump right into it. Maiden 12-5 for 2-year-olds going 3.5 furlongs. Field of 6. It's an all-skate, 3 girls, 3 boys. I went to the 5, Jamal. He was entered recently. He had part of the virus, so he scratched. But his works, I know these other horses have races under their belt, but they look more like horses that do want to go 2 turns, perhaps. Jamal looks like a horse that's going to be deadly first out. He's got a very good 2-year-old, 3.5 type rider in Pedro Alvarado. I went with Jamal on top of Mini Fridge. A filly in here who just missed last time to We're As Good As Gold, and that was for 25. She cuts her price in half down to 12.5. Richard Hamill picks up the mount on her for leading trainer Mike Anderson. And I put a Fleet Alice, Mark Cloutier's other horse, well-bred daughter of Fleet Alex, in the 3rd spot. She led most of the way last time and got tired in that We're As Good As Gold race. She'll appreciate the shortened up to 3.5 race. I went 5-4-2.
Yeah, I agree with the 5-horse Jamal. I think this horse is live. This horse can run it all. This is a great opportunity for her. If he's really fast, this is a good opportunity, because this isn't a stellar group. Obviously, for 12-5, it's the bottom claiming level for 2-year-olds. So I'm going to go Jamal. Pedro's a great 2-year-old rider. Mark Cloutier does a great job with his young horses. I got to go Jamal. I put Fun Before the Storm for Craig McPherson in for second. This horse actually broke well. The early fractions weren't fast, but they tried to rate, obviously, to try and get the 6 furlongs. But the horse did really break on top in that race, and I'm just going to hope that it can follow the 5 down and maybe be the exactor. And I put the 2 of Fleet Alice. I was close between a Fleet Alice and Mini Fridge for third for me. Because a Fleet Alice is faster. Mini Fridge had to be used to get up to get the lead, but the horse had a couple of 6 furlong races prior, and that's why a Fleet Alice, he did defeat a Fleet Alice. But a Fleet Alice is faster, I believe. I went 5, 6, and 2 in the Saturday opener onto their second race. This is $4,000 fillies and mares, non-winners of the year or non-4 lifetime. And well, it's tough to get past the 4-horse Hidden Harbor in here, dropping. The horse was in a couple of weeks ago.
She was already entered and was a vet scratch, so question marks surrounding Hidden Harbor, but based on talent, she's a standout.
Hasn't worked in 3.5 weeks. The one worked there on September 30th. Okay, but she's like, if she was and 50% of her ability, she would still win by 5 or 6 at this level, but still be a little leery. This horse has had some hiccups in her schedule. She's not the same mare you've seen, but still, I got to respect her. Tracy does a great job for Marilee Walters. I'm going to go Hidden Harbor to beat the 3 Farniente and the 1 Cute Little Vixen. Both those 2 are in good form. I went 4, 3, and 1.
Well, obviously, I agree with Hidden Harbor. I put Moonride in the 2nd spot. Just got beaten in neck last time by the Tenant. It didn't have the best of trips, but look at her form. She's always right there, always knocking on the door. I got her in the 2nd spot, and I put the Tenant. Interesting thing about the Tenant, you look at her form, runs a good one and then a bad one. She won this race 2 starts ago, or non 3 starts ago. Came back with kind of a flat effort. I look for her to rebound with a better effort today. I went 4, 2, and 5 in the 2nd.
But it's definitely Hidden Harbor. It's definitely hidden. Hidden Harbor's going to really have to be good for this race to be interesting.
She's going to have to a total reversal of form to not hit the winner's circle against those fillies. On the 3rd, fillies and mares Maiden 4,000 going 6.5 furlongs. Field of 7 lined up here. I went to the 7 here. This is a bit of I know it's you picked her, Randy picked her, but definitely a bit of a question mark. Just the 1 start, but John thought enough of her to start her for 12.5. Now she shows up for 4. She's a Rosberg out of a stakes-winning mare here, Spirit to Spare. If there's anything at all, not an overly tough field she drew here. If there's anything at all there, she should be pretty tough. I put Rosalie B, has to be respected in the 2nd spot, 2 straight seconds. Behind Remarkable Lady and Rio Honda, so some decent fillies she ran 2nd to at this bottom level. And Stormy Cross I put in the 3rd spot. Decent 3rd last time. Of the rest that was left, I liked her out of the Pat Jarvis barn. I went 7, 3, and 2.
Yeah, I agree with the 7 Holly's last call. The horse has been working so well. Look at the works
Yeah.
going into her debut.
Minute and 2.
I mean,
that's pretty
these
good for
horses
you.
can't run in a minute and 2/5, most of them in this race. This horse is working in the mornings like that, and did run against the boys in her debut. Obviously, green. She was a little fractious. No, not a lot, but she was fractious throughout the paddock and post parade.
Figures to be more mature
debut.
here, yeah.
But I like the outside post. This horse showed some ability in the morning, so I'll try her. I put the 5 Joe at all. Give her a shot. I know, she ran second last time, which doesn't say much. She beat one horse.
Yeah.
It was a 3-horse field, but still, I think she could be the speed in here. There's no speed in the race. It's Joe Adall's race to probably to win or lose. And I agree with the 3 Rosalie B. She's in with a good chance, but she's had a lot of chances and hasn't delivered. But I went 7, 5, and 3. On to the 4th race, $4,000 Colts and Geldings going a mile a 16th. I ended up on the 5-horse Carson City Brown. I think this horse will appreciate the stretch out. Unlucky loser last couple of starts, just can't seem to get by. Horses like Briardick County and just got guzzed on the wire by DJ Snow last time, but. Carson City Brown for me to beat the 1 Lord Harlow, who is at his best at this distance. I think he's live in here. And I put the 3-horse Lucky Moly Miner, who always runs good, solid races. But there is other speed in here. And that's what concerns me. Might get a little... with Carson City Brown stretching out, Ambidextrous Duke stretching out, Bluegrass Man has some speed in the past. Lucky Moly Miner might get caught up on a bit of the pace. That's the only reason I didn't pick the horse to win it, but it can win. He can win. I went 5, 1, and 3.
Yeah, I got the same 3 horses. I did put Lucky Moly Miner on top. That was his first start going long off the bench. It was his 3rd start. I think coming back going long, he should be a handful. Richard Hamill does ride today. Lord Harlow, I put in the 2nd spot. As you mentioned, he's very good at this distance.
Yeah.
Didn't have the best of trips last time. He looked like, he definitely with a cleaner trip could have won last time. And Carson City Brown, who's in very good form right now, as you mentioned, just got caught by DJ Snow, dirty one at the wire last time.
That was a tough one.
And DJ Snow was a big dropper into this category, so no shame losing to him. I went 3, 1, and 5 in the 4th. On to the 5th. $16,000 non-2, non-3 event for older Colts and Geldings. Going a mile and 16th. This is a coin toss for me. I like Laguna Blaze. I actually went with Finally Diamonds. It'd been a while since he won. Hadn't won since March. And I just think, off that win, it was an impressive win. He won by over 2 lengths. I think he moves forward into this race. Where I felt like Laguna Blaze kind of regressed last time. Coming out of that tough Senior Rojo and El Capone race. Into a 16, he did get beat by a nice horse and off the top, but I just felt like he should have been closer. He should have run a better race. So I think he's vulnerable. He's going to be your favorite. I went with Finally Diamonds on top of Laguna Blaze. And I threw in Perfectly Reckless for our friend George Morgan. There's a few maidens in here, but it's been running against decent horses. I know they thought, a fair bit of this horse, and he's got a nice work into this in a minute flat. He was the best of the rest for me. I went 8, 2, and 6.
Yeah, I agree that 2 and 8. I think the 2 and the 8 are the horses this race kind of center. Actually, the 4. I like Overtime too, but I think the 2, 4, and 8 are the horses that really. This is where the race revolves around, and I went Laguna Blaze. Good draw. Didn't get the best of trips last time. Not as bad a trip as Overtime had. Go watch the replay. If you get go to the Hastings Hastings website and watch the replay of Overtime. Wow, you'll see a tough luck trip. 5 wide first turn, 4 wide second turn, 4 wide stretch, and still ran 3rd and battled another horse to get 3rd. I was really impressed with Overtime. That's the long shot in the race that I think could do well. But I did go Laguna Blaze. He's the best horse in the race. He's been running against the best horses, open company at times, and still performing well. Finally, Diamond still has to prove himself going along. He is a good sprinter, but he still needs to find himself at a mile and a 16th, and perhaps he can at this level. But I went 2, 8, and 4, but I can revolve any of them. I think all 3 should be played, but I did go 2, 8, and 4 in the 5th. On to the 6th race, $25,000 older horses going a mile and a 16th. I'm going to go back to Irish Romeo. I liked him last time. He got a good pace scenario, and I think he's going to get another one with the odds are good. Creus, Uncle Willard, Ain't Tellin', Rebus, and off the top. 6 of these horses want to go to the front. Irish Romeo is the only one that wants to lay back and wait, and I think he's your horse. I think he will provide us with another good last to first victory. I put the 8 horse off the top in for 2nd. He's a nice horse. I mean, he dipped into the 16, non-2, non-3, and he showed how much the best he was. He won easily after battling on the pace, but he's throughout his race 2 back, he was battling hard on the pace that day, and behind Senor Rojo, that was a
much tougher
brutal
race.
pace too.
Yeah, and a brutal pace, and I mean, would not be surprised to see him bounce back from that impressive win. And come back and win for 25. I don't
His
think
sprint run 3 back behind Richter Red and title contender was really good because he's not a sprinter, and this is a nice horse, and he likes the outside. He's a big, dorky horse. Yeah, he's a big, long-necked horse that the outside is perfect
he gets the
for.
outside today,
This 8-hole is perfect for off the top. So I got him in for second, and I put the 3 Crias just out of respect. He's a 3-year-old facing older, but he's a pretty cool horse too. So I went 5, 8, and 3, but I really like Irish Romeo.
I got the same horses. I put Crias on top. I really like Off the Top. I was going to take Off the Top, but Hamill gets off the top to go with Crias, and I've picked Crias like 7 times this year, except for the Derby.
Still got to win going long. It always wins or good races or sprinting. That's no. Bothers me a little bit.
He had a good one. He just got beat a half by Sedin.
Yeah.
A few back going long. I think he can get the distance. Excited miss. He should get the distance. I like the fact that Hamill lands with him. So I went with him on top of Off the Top, who, like I said, I would not be surprised to see this horse come right back and win again. And Irish Romeo, your third horse, as you mentioned, he's going to get a favorable pace to run at, and has to be respected in here.
He's not the best horse, but he's just going to get
the best trip. He got an 80 buyer last time, which is tops in the field. I went 3, 8, and 5 in the 6th. On to the 7th. 3-year-olds and up, wide open, $16,000.
Tough race again.
Yeah, 6-horse field. I went with It's Finally Friday.
I left it off totally.
Yeah, you don't have It's Finally Friday. I went with him. I thought that was an impressive race. Above Step Up for the Money after the conflict last time. There doesn't seem to be a ton of speed in here. SL Express of Philly, I don't think she wants to go with him after the conflict, maybe. Title contenders to his inside. I don't think
he's going.
He's going to go, but he's going to get a good trip outside of Title Contender. And Title Contender, I just feel is like he's going the wrong way.
I agree. No, he's not the same horse.
He's the best horse in the race, but I think he's going the wrong way. So I put It's Finally Friday on top of Title Contender. And I threw in Twist Grips.
Yep.
Drops to an all-time low of 16,000. He's been a pretty salty horse in his career, and I put him in the 3rd spot. I went 6, 3, and 2.
Yeah, this was a tough race, and it was hard for me to leave off. It's Finally Friday. I mean, the horse did get a nice, favorable pace last time. Didn't even break good. Actually, after the conflict, outbroke It's Finally Friday, but they wanted to rate the horse, and ended up being fine. The horse ended up running 3rd after the conflict, but still allowed It's Finally Friday to get the rail and the lead, and the rest was history. But this is a lot tougher from an outside draw for him, I think. I like Title Contender. Don't love the horse, but I think he's still got to respect him. He chased some wicked fractions going long. He's a better 6.5 furlong type horse.
Yeah.
I like his race 2 back to his stablemate Richter Red. That race gets reproduced. He wins. He's the best. He's the best horse. Twist Grips I put in for second. He's a good sprinter too. For some reason he was out there on the lead last time. I don't think they'll have him out there this time.
He's got such a nice move closing.
He'll be off the pace, and that's where he's at his best.
More his style.
I just think for 25, maybe they thought he could just go out to the front and win anyway.
Yeah.
But it shows you the 25s are still pretty tough at the track when you do drop out of stakes races.
When you run into Richter Red and Title Contender.
But no, look for him to settle back and make a run. And I put the 4-horse Step Up for the Money, who did rally from last to get second. It was a big run from Step Up for the Money because It's Finally Friday had everything his own way on the head end. And this horse had to go wide and still managed to was actually gaining on the horse at the end of the race. So I respect that horse, and there's going to be more pace in the race.
He's had some big runs this year. You go back to that race, when was it?
Even the Go for Guinness races.
The Go for Guinness race.
Those are tough 16s.
But the one behind Senor Rojo, he ran into second. That was a pretty salty bunch. He finished ahead of Laguna Blaze and some others. A nice close into second that day.
So basically, this is a really tough race. I mean, after the conflict's a cool horse, too. So It's Finally Friday I left off. Obviously, the Phillies SL Express is in trouble in here. But, the other 5 horses all can win. It's an interesting. I went 3, 2, and 4 though in race number 7. Kick off your late pick 3. On to the 8th race, $8,000 Fillies and Mares. It's a non-2, non-3 lifetime, going 6.5 furlongs. Headed up on the 4-horse Xenia. Perhaps today's the day. She's had a lot of second and third itis, but might get a pretty good pace scenario set up in front of her. She faces a little easier today too. That is the standard drop down. There's no 12-5 non-2s. When you drop from 16, you drop to 8, and that's the way the categories are here at Hastings. So Xenia should get a good favorable pace. The one horse, I believe in Angel, had an easy lead last time. They were walking up front, and this horse did last over Quiet Finality, but I just think things will be a little more hectic up front. Quiet Finality rated last time from the inside, which I've never seen her do, but she did, and I believe in Angel got an easy lead, and won the money. But I think it's between 1 and 5 for second and third for me. I went 4, 1, and 5.
I agree with you. I went with Xenia. I believe an Angel did look good last time. As you mentioned, there
It was her first run since October.
crazy fractions, and she wanted to lead and win. I was leaning her way, but you got I'm a Kitten's Joy is probably going to go with her.
Cadeo's
speed.
fast.
Quiet Finality is probably not going to let her get too far. There's just more gas in here, and that really, I think, perfectly sets it up for Xenia. I think even Xenia would be better even going long, but it's tough to get these races going long.
Tough to get them to fill, period.
Yeah, exactly. Now she's cuts her price in half. She had a good second last time, behind Race the Wind. I just think a lot of things are going her way here. She's cutting her price. There's going to be a pace to run at. I got Xenia on top of I Believe in Angel, who I think is of the speed horses, I think she could be the toughest one in there and last the longest, and Quiet Finality in the third spot. As you mentioned, I like 1 and 5. I got the same horses as you. I went 4, 1, and 5 in the 8th.
We'd put the 6 today as the day would be in for 4th, maybe for a superfecta. Because that horse did he get into a little trouble. It was a lot easier competition. But his horse did get into a little trouble, and it was her first run back at Hastings. Actually ran pretty good.
It was a filly also that was running much higher at Emerald earlier in the year. Came here in a 4-on-2 and made no mistake. So yeah, definitely one to have a look at in there as well. 4, 1, and 5 for me in the 8th. On to the 9th, the nightcap, an $8,000 race for 3-year-olds and up. Non-2, non-3, going 6.5 furlongs. Best bet of the day, number 2, Every Night's a Blur. I don't see anybody that's going to go with him. He's the kind of horse that can be tough if he does have company.
Right.
There's going to be nobody with him. I mean, all things point to Every Night's a Blur for me. Absolutely going to be
Gotta win it.
super tough to get
the
by
horse really
in
has
here.
to run terribly.
Yeah, he's going to have another one's kind of a total reversal of form if he's to lose this one. I put Stone Ridge Ruler out of the Hall of Fame trainer, Harold Barrowby barn. Another one, he comes out of that pretty tough off the top Laguna Blaze race.
Yeah, no, that was
a salty race.
And he was up battling. And he ran a good race. He's live. If anyone beats Every Night's a Blur, it's got to be Stone Ridge Ruler.
For sure. I got him in the second spot. And he's got a nice style where he can lay just off Every Night's a Blur.
No, he's in good form.
Forestry's Devil in the third spot. Another one coming out of that tough Laguna Blaze off the top race. 2, 4, and 1 for me in the night. Oh, no. Yeah,
that's the nightcap. That's it.
Yes.
We're not having 10. I don't have a lot to add. I agree. 2, 4, 1. Every Night's a Blur is the speed of the race. Stone Ridge Ruler will likely be sitting second just off of him. If Every Night's a Blur caves in a little in the stretch, Stone Ridge Ruler will pick him up.
Could get the better of him.
And Forestry's Devil, he'll appreciate getting back to a sprint. Was in long last time. Doesn't want to route. Gets his last sprint behind Finally Diamonds, Wonder World, and Stone Ridge Ruler wasn't bad. So give him another look as well. But I went 2, 4, and 1. I agree with Drew in the 9th and final. Well, that'll do it for our analysis of the Saturday, October 24th races at Hastings. The eve before we bring the curtain down on the 2015 season. But next up on screen will be a quick recap of our selections. In race number 1, I went to the 5. Jamal over the 6. Fun Before the Storm, the 2 of Fleet Alice. Race number 2, I went to the 4. Hidden Harbor, big class drop. It does have some question marks surrounding him. 4-3-1 for me in the second. Race number 3, I went to the 7, Holly's Last Call. 7, 5, and 3. Race number 4, the 5, Carson City Brown. Going to hope he can stretch out and do well. 5, 1, and 3 for me in the 4th. The 5th race, number 2, Laguna Blaze in the 8. Finally Diamonds in the 4. Overtime. Those 3 all look kind of the same to me. I went 2, 8, and 4 in race number 5. Race number 6, started the late pick 4. I went to the 5, Irish Romeo. I like him a lot. Looks like he's going to get a favorable pace scenario. 5, 8, and 3 in the 6th. On the 7th, the 3, title contender, former BC Derby winner. Going to try him to defeat the 2, Twist Grips in the 4. Step up for the money. The 8th race, the 4, Xenia over the 1, I Believe in Angel, and the 5, Quiet Finality. And the 9th and final, I went to the 2, Every Night's a Blur. 2, 4, and 1. On to Drew's picks.
In the first, I agree with Mike. Actually, the first few, I agree with Mike. Number 5, Jamal over the 4 and the 2. In the second, the big dropping mare, number 4, Hidden Harbor over the 2 and the 5. In the third, second time starter, number 7, Holly's Last Call over the 3 and the 2. In the fourth, I went to number 3, Lucky Molly Miner over the 1 and the 5. In the fifth, I went to the 8, Finally Diamonds over the 2 and the 6. In the sixth, I went to number 3, Creus over the 8 and the 5. In the 7th, I landed on number 6, It's Finally Friday over the 3 and the 2. In the 8th, number 4, Xenia over the 1 and the 5. And in the nightcap, as I mentioned, my best bet of the day, number 2, Every Night's a Blur over the 4 and the 1.
Well, that'll do it for the Saturday edition of Handicappers Corner. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. Hopefully, we've given you a little insight into the 9-race program. Nice little Saturday 9-race. That's the most amount of races I think we've had on a Saturday this year. 9 of them. We'll have 9 more on the Sunday program as we do close out the 2015 thoroughbred season. There should be lots of fun on the Saturday program. Hopefully, the weather is agreeable. It's supposed to be pretty nice, actually.
Pretty nice as of taping, so hopefully it stays nice throughout the week and we get a nice closing weekend at Hastings. And before we go, I want to mention too, we still do have a few tables left. Friday for the Breeders' Cup, there's still lots of room here at the Derby Bar.
Saturday's the busy day.
Saturday's busy. We still have a few tables left. If you do want to make a reservation, phone 604-536-2978. You can ask for me, Drew Forrester, or Emily to make a reservation here on that day.
Yeah, so if you're not going to Hastings or Fraser Downs, please do. If you live in the South Surrey area, get down here. It's a lot of fun. Lots of great food.
Yep, Chef Andy's putting on a big spread.
It'll be a great day, and lots of course, great thoroughbred racing. Well, that'll do it for this edition of Handicappers Corner. Well, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time here at the Derby Bar and Grill.